Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. All right, you guys. So we got a lot of topics today. So, and it's the end of the day. You know, I couldn't get out here to get my video done this morning because work was busy. So I gotta hurry up and get through this before the sun goes down. No, I think we got some time, you guys. First story up, let's talk about the things that matter. Okay, the possible government shutdown that is looming. They're saying that if the Congress can't agree on the new budget for these United States of America for the next year, that the government is scheduled to shut down come 12:01 a.m. Sunday morning, which is October 1st. Lawmakers are undecided, or I should say they are not agreeing. They're disagreeing on, the spending that our country does. And so, it's got to get through the House, it's got to get through Senate, it's got to get through Congress, and then it goes over to the president for the president to sign, and then that is the new budget for the new year. But like I said, they're having problems. They're at a stalemate. They say that, as usual, because we've been having these more and more now. Before we never heard about government shutdown. I feel like these last, definitely since COVID, maybe even before then, Congress can't seem to agree on shit. Okay. Of course, it's always the same thing. The conservativeness of, is that a word? Conservativeness? The fact that it's a very conservative budget. And there are some that believe that we should spend more money. Okay. And when I say some, I say the Democrats. I am a Democrat, you guys, but I do agree sometimes a Democrat want to spend too much fucking money, you guys. But that's another topic for another day, okay? As of right now, we are at a standstill, and they're not looking too hopeful that they're going to get it settled before October 1st. So when that happens, if there is a government shutdown, that means that anything that is paid by our federal government will not be paid. So if you work for the federal government, if you're in the military, or if you work for a fund that is funded by, an organization that is funded by the federal government, you're not going to get paid, okay, until they can get this settled. This is very frustrating to hear about the government always shutting down. It's just sort of like, you guys you're going to have to figure out a way to work across these aisles so that the public doesn't suffer for it. While they over there arguing over money, there's going to be families that don't have money. Most people live check to check, or maybe check to the next 2 checks down. But, folks ain't got really a whole bunch of money in savings to just be riding out a government shutdown. So they need to do something. So far, only one of the 12 spending bills has been approved by the House. The Senate hasn't approved anything. So with all this going on, they can do an extension. If everybody agrees to do an extension, then they can do that. However, there are some House Republicans that are saying they will never vote for that because this happens too often, and that there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to work through and get these 12 bills figured out and signed and everything. So as of now, it look like there will not be an extension. We going into, if they can't get it together by Saturday night, we going into shutdown come Sunday morning. Now, of course, the process of approving all of these different spending bills usually takes months. And I'm assuming they've been working on it all this time to figure it out. But yeah, every year it seems like now or every few years, it seems like we are facing an impending government shutdown. I'm aggravated by it. I don't work for the federal government. I work for the government, not federal. So I'm just like, I know that the people that do work federal government, I'm sure they quite aggravated about this too, because it's happening too much. It's just sort of like, why the Congress, I don't know. I guess maybe their pay gets affected as well. But, these are usually millionaires already anyway. And You know, they're not the average American that's working, like I said, check to check or check to check after check. And yeah, it's ridiculous. So I am starting to get so frustrated with just like everything that happens in our government. I've been watching the news and I just shake my head and roll my eyes. I was like, Roxanne, you must really be getting old, because your patience, girl, your patience it ain't where it used to be. You know, I got to pray for that, because I'm just starting to see things and I just be like, and really that's everything. So it must come with age, you guys. You just ain't got time for the bullshit. So anyway, I'm gonna keep you guys up to speed. I'm sure we're gonna be talking about this every week if it, you know, continues on and on and on. Hey, what would be great to hear is that if this government shutdown stopped these fucking student loans from getting to be paid come October, okay? Because I got my new student loan bill, and baby, I am in the process of trying to get that shit excused and forgiven as we speak, you guys, because I owe a lot of money. And yeah, ciao. Anyway, it's a bill. It's one of them bills that I don't get overwhelmed or stressed about, because I'm just like, that bill is so high. I'm probably going to have that for the rest of my life. And depending on what my income is, you know, I might have a huge payment or a low payment. Like, it's just sort of like, whatever, Roxanne. You just something you got to deal with. So that's what we dealing with. But yeah, if the government shutdown could include them student loans, I'd be all for it. Anyway, you guys, y'all got y'all student loan bill in the mail yet? Okay, because it's coming. And Jada just got hers, and she was just like, what? I thought this was excused. See, girl, you don't watch the news, you don't listen to your mama, because I told you that it wasn't. I hope everybody got their funds together. I hope y'all got y'all coins together, because they are expecting payment, you know, come October. So y'all get yourself together. We'll see what happens with this government shutdown. And I guess if it does happen, then we'll talk about it next week. Next story.
We don't tread softly, but not flossy. The streets that taught me.
All right, you guys, great news. If you are a writer anyway, I have found out that yesterday morning, the writer's strike was officially over. Now, the SAG-AFTRA actors strike is still going on. This is only the writer portion of the strike that was going. Remember, the actors joined the writers afterwards. You know, remember, the writers were threatening to go in. They did. And then a little while later, the actors came. So the writers have agreed. And I think on Sunday morning, the 24th, yes, after 146 days of being on strike, they all came to this conclusion that they could agree on something. They are now ratifying the contract, and officially the strike was over as of yesterday morning. The union's membership will get the chance to vote on October 2nd, which is next Monday. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what that includes. So it says the MOA includes increasing a minimum wage and compensation, increased pension and health fund notes, improvement for terms for length of employment and size of writing teams, which had been shrinking drastically in recent years, and better residuals, which are like royalties, including foreign streaming residuals. The MOA also lays out terms for artificial intelligence, which is an agreement that doesn't prevent writers or producers from making use of generative AI, but prohibits using software to reduce or eliminate writers and their pay. The WGA reserves the right to assert that exploitation of writers' material to train AI is prohibited by MBA or other law. Okay, so what that means to me is there are some situations where you can use out artificial intelligence, like writers and producers, they can use it. However, it can't be used if it's going to be in place of another person's salary. Like, so for instance, you can't say, well, I don't have a writer, so I'm just going to go and plug it into my AI, and that writer will just come up with a script. You've got to offer that I think that this means you've got to offer that opportunity to an actual person, an actual writer. Okay. And so the AI portion of this, which was very confusing and I guess convoluted, it's still confusing for me because my mind can't wrap around like AI in its entirety. It just sounds like it's really bad. Okay. AI, artificial intelligence, sounds bad. It can clone your voice. It can, it's so smart that it can create all of these situations and scenarios that could possibly be a detriment. So, even though I still don't all the way understand the whole AI part of it, I just know that the way that I was hearing people explain it, it was sounding like it was going to be a bad thing for the writers and the actors. Like, it feels like AI is just really, truly the devil. Like, it scares me when I'm watching the news and they're talking about, you know, all these scams now. I am a person that is on social media, so my voice is definitely out there, you know, and, you know, an AI possibly could steal my voice, your voice, just from your voicemail, or if they heard your voice, you know, that those things are frightening to me. And so I know that as things progress and as technology goes on, and, you know, it's inevitable, but it is really, truly a scary thing for me. So, the actors are still on strike. There's also an automotive industry workers strike that's going on, you know, that Biden has just, endorsed. Well, I don't know if they consider that endorsement, but, you know, he is definitely behind the automotive industry workers as well. UPS almost went on strike, but they were able to agree and get their pay up higher and better working conditions and things for them. There's a lot of people that are unhappy with their income, and there are a lot of businesses that are taking advantage of their employees. So yeah, it's a lot going on. I think that the writer's strike, the fact that they were able to come to an agreement, like that'll like provide like a template for the SAG-AFTRAs, you know, maybe once they see what they agreed on, and really kind of see how theirs was set up, maybe that will encourage the actors to be able to come to some agreement as well. They go back to negotiating on Monday. Okay, so I think the writer's strike has given people hope that maybe things will get better for actors, because they are definitely sticking to this strike. They are definitely out there with their signs, and they are, you know, protesting out in front of the studios. We've been seeing many of our favorite actors and actresses that are in support of this, that have been down there, that have been speaking, and I guess behind the scenes probably are negotiating and trying to get it done for everybody as well. So, you know, even though I don't belong to any of these, I still stand with them. I think that it's ridiculous that you know, these people aren't getting paid what they are due, the money that they work hard for. So I'm gonna need them to figure it out. But I think maybe we might be getting closer. This strike, though, was the longest that they've had, 146 days. I think when we talked about the longest strike before, I want to say that it was around 90 something days when we were talking about it in Top of the Blogs before. So this one went longer than they expected. The actor strike, like I said, you know, is still going on, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm sure that everybody's pockets is looking funny. All right, so hopefully they can come up with some agreements soon. But congratulations to the writers and everybody involved, you know, that they were able to come to that. I think we are one step closer to getting our, you know, getting our movies and our TV shows back on, because honey, they about to game show us to death. And you know, I Rocky love her a game show. I do. But the game shows don't usually go into the fall, and like now we're in the fall and the game shows are still on. They're having season premieres of game shows and all of this. So I think game shows, reality shows, like all of those things that don't require writers or actors or whatever, I think that's what we are about to get the most of now, because it's just game show every single night when I turn on my TV, if you're not watching, you know, the cable channel. So anyway, you guys, we still go with prayers up for everybody else that's out there on strike, and that's everywhere, not just the actors, but the industry, automotive industry workers, and just the others, because I think I've heard somebody else is threatening to go on strike as well. What was that I just heard? It's gonna pop in my head later, you guys. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are unhappy, and so hopefully, you know, prayers up that everybody's gonna get the money that they are due and deserve. Okay, all right, next story.
Don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, I'm just trying to get my nigga.
All right, you guys, and this one here is a little bit of politics, but just a little bit, because we ain't fixing to be on that. But you know, we had to talk about YSAP. He lost his case in New York, you guys. One of the cases that he has. He's got so many, okay? And all of this other illegalities will just have to get in line. But on this here particular case, the state attorney the state attorney general's $250 million lawsuit against Donald Trump and his company. On Tuesday, we found out that the former president had committed repeated acts of fraud for years. Okay. This isn't hard for me to believe. I don't think it should be hard for anybody to believe, because YSAP has created his own reality. And I think he's lied so much that he even believes it, you know? So there's a 35-page ruling that Judge Arthur Engoron said that YSAP continuously lied on his financial statements and was able to get favorable loan terms and lower insurance premiums as a result. He was just like, YSAP's legal standing is based in a fantasy world, not the real world. It's like I said, it's just some other reality in his mind that he's been living so long that now he believes that this is what it is. And the judge is like, motherfucker, you really think that I don't see all of the fraudulent things that you've been doing over the years? Like, you've been doing this for years and years and years. For example, one of the examples that the judge gave was the fact that YSAP had been valuing and either over or underestimating the value of things, depending on, you know, how it was going to work in his favor. So when it comes to real estate, for example, his apartment that he has in New York, he was saying, he's been telling people on paper that that apartment is over 30,000 square feet. Okay. Turns out that that apartment is only 10,000 square feet, if that. And him misrepresenting the size of his real estate when he's trying to get loans and when he's trying to do different things. And if they're basing it on what he says, then yeah, you're lying. This is fraudulent. Your place is not that big. You don't need a loan for, you know, however much money for something that maybe doesn't even exist. Like, you might not even have you know. So anyway, that was what the judge said. You doing too fucking much out here, nigga. You lying on paperwork, and you've been doing it for years, but the jig is up. The judge was like, I ain't even got to go to court. We ain't even got to go to trial. He said that it was so overwhelmingly obvious that YSAP and his companies have lied and cheated and stole from you know, the people over the years. Sorry, my supervisor is 1 second, y'all. This look like this might be something I need to make a call. Hold on. I just got an email. Need to read it clearly. 1 second. Roxanne, please plan on attending one of these sessions. Oh my God, not the budget. Oh my God. Oh my God, are they putting me back on the budget? I haven't had to do the budget since the pandemic. I guess the pandemic is over, and I guess my supervisor was like, back on budget. Y'all know how the budget used to stress me out. So, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it! That has completely thrown me off. I shouldn't even have checked that email, you guys, but it came across the screen. I'm sorry. I am so upset. Let me just... Give me 1 minute, you guys. All right, you guys, back to it. So the fact that YSAP had been lying so much on his paperwork, the judge was like, it's obvious. So the ruling would dissolve numerous limited liability companies, LLCs. For any of you out there who are familiar, if you have your own small business, then you know that you would have an LLC. Well, small or large, you have to have an LLC. Any of them that's associated with YSAP, including the Trump Organization LLC, got to get rid of them all. And they've been given 10 days to figure out how they're going to dissolve all of these LLCs, okay, that the court has recommended, you know, that need to be dissolved. And, you know, they're going to go from there. So, yeah, you know, it's a good feeling to know that YSAP is actually having to pay for the shit that we had to watch him do. Even though he was in there for just 4 years, you guys, I swear it felt like 8. I swear it felt like 8. Okay? And it still feels like, I mean, we are still dealing with YSAP, and the nigga is, I mean, we already even had a whole full term almost of another president, and we still talking about YSAP. Okay? And then he gonna run in this next election, and oh my God, God forbid, if he did win, we would have 4 more years of YSAP. So really, that's 12 years of YSAP. You already know the bullshit that's going to go down in the other 4 years if the man ever did get back in office. So then we would be dealing with the repercussions of YSAP again after that. I mean, potentially, you guys, it could be 20 years of SAP. 20 years of YSAP, you guys. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, except for, you know, YSAP's supporters and all. But I don't think I have many YSAP supporters. I do have some. So anyway, we'll see. They're now going through the motions, I guess, of dissolving his LLCs and these businesses and all. And you know, I don't know what happens after that. Well, I think what happens is they're going to still go to court, but there's not going to be a jury. This is going to be decided by the judge. Okay. And the fact that the judge has already made some decisions, and child, you already know. Okay. So that's what's going on there. But yeah, you know, it's always a good feeling. It's just a good feeling to know that YSAP is starting to have to pay for his crimes. I feel like the ultimate justice would be if he was in jail, but y'all, beggars can't be choosers. Okay, I don't think that is going to happen. But again, maybe the man gonna be so who out there voting for YSAP? Maybe the man gonna be so busy he ain't gonna have time to be running, even though he is out there still traveling, still doing his speeches and everything. He's refusing to be a part of these debates. And I guess time will tell on whether or not that is a good or a bad strategy when it comes to Republicans. I know the Republicans especially like to hear the issues and want to hear what the candidate says. The Democrats too, but not on the scale of the Republicans. Okay, they take those debates very seriously. So I don't know if that is going to help him. I know he doesn't have the support of the GOP, right? The GOP is hoping that they can also eradicate. Is that the word? I don't know if that's the word, but I know they also are hoping that they can get rid of YSAP. So there's a lot of things happening here, you guys. But one thing we do know is that, at least on one of his cases, YSAP was definitely found guilty. So good. Well, I don't know if he's found guilty, but, well, what's the correct wording? Should I say that it was, oh my God, they're sending me so many fucking emails. I'm not looking at another email. All right, you guys. Anyway, that's enough on YSAP. You know, the chickens is finally coming home to roost, and you know, the niggas got to pay for some of his some of the things that he's done. So I'm happy to see it, you guys. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more. So next story.
We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at since the 2nd grade.
Okay, you guys. So next story is the Lizzo lawsuit. Now, we already know about the lawsuit that her dancers had brought up and said that Lizzo had created an unhealthy work environment, that they were sexually harassed and made to do many things that they didn't want to do, and they had to deal with Lizzo's bad attitude, and she just fostered this whole environment where everybody is pretty much sitting on pins and needles and uncomfortable and unhappy and having to do whatever Lizzo says. Okay, let the dancers tell it. Well, this week we had 35-year-old Asha Daniels. Asha worked, I believe she was I did not get it. I think that she was their costume or fashion. She had something to do with the wardrobe, I believe, of Lizzo and her dancers. Anyway, she said that even though we were so used to seeing Lizzo big up in, like big women, heavyset women, black women, gay women, like how she speaks up for those communities, very inclusive, just oriented and wanting to make sure that things are fair for disenfranchised groups or whatever, okay? The Lizzo that we see on front of the camera is not the Lizzo that happens behind the scenes. When behind closed doors, they say that Lizzo is pretty much like a tyrant, and said that she was bullying and terrifying her team. Now, this lawsuit came on the day that Lizzo was supposed to be receiving the Black Music Action Coalition's Quincy Jones Humanitarian Award, okay? And this award was, is usually given to people who promote like inclusivity and social justice. And so the Quincy Jones Humanitarian Award normally would go to somebody that's not in the middle of a fucking public scandal where the scandal is that Lizzo is not the person that we all believe that she is. So when they brought this lawsuit up, Lizzo's team is saying that, they did this to try to deflect from the good that Lizzo has done in the community and trying to take the attention away, but the fact that Lizzo used to call her dancers fat and lazy and ugly, and if they gained weight, was a problem, and if you looked at her man wrong, it was a problem. If her man even talked to you, it was a problem. If there were men that thought you were attractive, there was a problem. This lady, Asha, she also said that Lizzo would make her dancers change clothes on stage, okay, like right there, and that the dancers would be changing in front of a mostly white male crew. It don't even matter what color they are, okay? You just say if you change it in front of a male crew, and that the women would be uncomfortable, but they had to do it because, otherwise you was gonna lose your damn job. Okay, when Asha complained about it, she lost her job. So everybody was kind of working in this environment where it was just sort of like, well, we can't say nothing because Lizzo gonna, And so, yeah, Lizzo is having some serious problems. The dancers was bad enough, but now that you've got other people that are coming out and like confidently saying that she's done this and all, of course, it could still be very much a lie, or it could very much still be put on, or, 20 on 10 or whatever. I can promise you that this is not good for Lizzo. Okay. Did I tell you what her mama named her? I don't think we ever said what mama named her. Okay. Lizzo, mama named her Melissa Vivian Jefferson. Melissa Vivian Jefferson. Yeah, I guess she does look like a Melissa. Anyway, this is not good for Melissa. I mean, I guess I could say Melissa. This is not good for Lizzo. And, you know, her team are trying to act like they're so above it, you know. At least when they put out statements, you know, they're like, we're going to give this lawsuit the attention that it deserves, which is none. And I was like, none is definitely not what you need to do. Okay, I'm hoping that you just saying that. Okay, because this is like a real thing that's happening. These people is coming after Lizzo. There may be somebody else that comes along, you know, and yeah, this is just not good. It's not good. And it's almost uncomfortable even when you see her. Like when I see her out on, you know, when I see her on social media, like out and about, like she was at the Beyonce concert and like all of that, like I wonder how she feels, how uncomfortable it is for her, for everybody now to be kind of giving her the side eye, like, girl, you over there, you know, going off on your dancers because they cuter than you, you know, somebody might be interested, like, or it might not be none of that. You just over there tripping. So, yeah, you guys, I don't know, but it ain't looking real good it ain't looking good. I don't know when all of this is supposed to make it to court, you know. I'm sure they've responded, but I don't know, child. But the more and more people start coming out the woodwork talking about Lizzo and all of that, it's going to be really too bad if she really is like that, you know, because the fact that she was such a welcomed and loved personality, you know, and for the fact, I mean, her brand is her weight, you know, her size. Even really before her singing, you know, we see Lizzo, we say she is a heavyweight black woman singer who is hella extremely talented. And you know, but that weight is gonna be in there somewhere. You gonna say something about her weight. That is what she is known for. And the fact that what she's known for is being attacked like this, it is it's horrible for her brand. Horrible. And I sure hope that is true, just for the fact that I would hate to see somebody's whole life turned upside down and ruined, really, for some shit that might not even be true. So I'm at least hoping that nobody is lying on Lizzo. And if they are, then Lizzo is, you know, that we know that she didn't do that, and those people should be in trouble. Like, they should, you know, she could countersue them, defamation of character or something. But I'm gonna need to know what the fucking truth is what my bottom line is. I just hate to think that Lizzo was out there doing stuff like that. But I mean, you don't never really know, huh? It's funny because also, and then I'm gonna get off of this topic, but I feel like we are starting to see, like, social media, I guess I should say, social media has now made it easier for us to see like the dysfunction that happens in people's lives, okay? And sometimes that comes out in their bad attitudes, or it comes out in their mental health issues, like if we talk about Tyrese, or even the child that just had the baby, who I said I'm not going to talk about on this channel. Okay, but like when you start seeing, like, you got people, and now we are starting to see, like, folks that we may have really liked in the past or something. Social media has made it so open that now we are starting to see, like, if folks got a bad fucking attitudes, they crazy, they, you know, wimps, they, you know, like, we can see now people's behavioral patterns, of folks that we've loved over the years, and now it's just sort of like, oh, they kind of fucked up just like everybody else. Child, you be putting these celebrities on pedestals and everything, and turns out that they are assholes and bitches and liars and cheaters, and you know, they all got they got shit with them just like the regular average person as well. So we are starting to see that for sure. But anyway, when it comes to Lizzo, I hate it. I hate that this is happening. But girl, if you was out there acting like that, I blame her team as well for not trying to check it. Somebody needed to get in control of that. You had to know eventually that it was going to come out. Had to know. So, anyway, that's enough on that. We're going to continue to talk about it as as this goes along. But yeah, so far, she's got lawsuits. She's got 2 lawsuits that we know of, and I kind of have a feeling more might be coming down the pike.
Time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid.
And then you guys, just real quick, Latasha Scott, you know, the estranged 4th member from Escape, who is also the sister to Tamika Scott, who we all had to sit and watch the scandal when Tamika let Latasha know that she stole $30,000 from her, you know, from royalties that they received in the past and never paid her back. Okay. And it was a whole bunch of controversy over Latasha. Latasha act like she ain't know what the hell it was going on, you know, even though the paperwork was signed or her name and all this. Of course, we deal with Rocky as well. You know, a lot of people don't like Latasha and Rocky as a unit, but I think more people really don't like Rocky, and they feel like Latasha is the result of Rocky's molding. He has created Latasha to be the person that because even Tamika will say that she doesn't even know who Latasha is anymore. She feels like she is not even her sister that she grew up with, loved, sang with, cried with, okay, been through many, many things with, personally in her family and also in her group. You know, Tamika was just like, no. So all of that drama happened. They weren't even talking. I'm assuming they've gotten it together by now, or at least have tried. But they weren't talking. Latasha left the group, apparently. Went on to make her own album. She said she wanted to do gospel. This was like her dream of doing this. Motown Gospel ended up signing her on. And I'm sorry, you guys. They are sending me so many fucking emails. It just keeps popping up on my phone. I should have put my phone on air, do not disturb. Anyway, what was I saying, you guys? I'm losing my train of thought. Work. It's after hours too, you guys. Anyway, Motown decided to give her a deal. She came out with the gospel album. I don't believe the gospel album did all that well. I remember the numbers were very, very horrible. I don't even think she hit 1,000. Okay, I won't embarrass her and just go and get the numbers out, but it was extremely low. I don't know who's producing this Christmas album, but she's got a Christmas album. She's smiling. She's got her Santa outfit, maybe Mrs. Claus outfit on the cover. And I was just like, girl, you was really trying to... Girl, ain't nobody told you to go and make this album. Shit, your sister say where her fucking money at, okay? The name of the album is called Latasha This Christmas Wrapped with Love. Like I said, this is after her album, her debut album, which was The Invitation, A Conversation with God. And remember, on that project, she said that she realized the importance of self-love and giving love to others. Okay, so with the release of this album, and I'm reading here that it is going to arrive on Motown Gospel. So Motown is willing to give Latasha the label. They are supporting her. So, I mean, at least that's good to know, right? Okay. So yeah, she got the y'all want to hear the track list? Okay. She's got number 1, peace, joy, and love. 2, Merry Christmas. 3, Coming Home This Christmas. 4, Joy to the World. 5, If the World Could See. 6, Bring Back Christmas. 7 Silent Night, Holy Night. And then it says here that if you actually buy the vinyl, so if you buy the actual vinyl album of hers, they're going to include an 8th bonus song. And that song is entitled, Bitch, Go Ask Santa for Your Money. Y'all go buy her album.
Dollar bill, listen close, this is not a drill. Niggas hungry trying to get a meal. I've been in light, who gon' pay a bill? I've been in action, been in traction, surplus with niggas lacking,